Okay, I better intro this because this is completely new, completely different. The stream title should say that it's episode 1, I think, of what I'm hoping will be a series that we can keep doing. And look, I honestly, as much as I want your contributions today, I also want your feedback. If you guys like this as an idea or you hate it as an idea, I would love to hear. Or if you got ideas for future topics. But basically, I'd love to introduce you guys to Tierlist Tuesdays. This is basically, like, what we're going to do is we're going to have each week a different topic, and it's going to be, like, super, like, not like ranking, like, for instance, I could do a day by day like tier list where I just rank the killers based on how good I think they are. They pronouns. But that would be boring. I feel like that's been done 1,000 times. Maybe I'll do it one day, but I don't see any point of doing that today. Instead, I like the idea of finding like a group of characters or locations or things like that, and then putting them into like a random tier list theme. So, for instance, today we're going to start off with... It's going to be a tier list of the DBD killers based on who would be most likely to invest in crypto. So anyway, let's introduce our tiers. Okay, so our tier list for today has 5 tiers in it. And as you can see, we've got all the killers, including Vecna. And yeah, we'll rank them based on these tiers. So in S tier, we got CEO of FTX. Now, if you didn't know, FTX was that big crypto thing that turned out to be a complete shambles, and Sam Bankman-Fried went to prison for that. So yeah, no, that's gonna be our top tier. This is the tier for the killers who would literally be like at the forefront of every single scam possible. We've got pump and dumps, so these are just going to be the get-rich-quick people who just throw everything into crypto and try and take advantage of shit. They're not exactly orchestrating anything, but they're just going to be our, you know, our killers are just kind of take advantage of a situation. We've got Hodl Gang, so this is just going to be the ones that just buy into crypto, have no fucking idea what they're doing, are just trusting the fervor, and when they buy something, they hodl. I believe that's the term in crypto, is to hodl your stuff. So yeah, that's going to be that tier. We've got Cautiously Dabbles, kind of very self-explanatory. These are the killers that maybe will invest a couple of things, but are very hesitant to do so. And then we've got No Crypto, which is basically anyone who we think will not dabble in crypto whatsoever. As with everything, I would love to hear everyone else's thoughts in the stream as we do this. I see some people have already mentioned what they think about Trapper, but we're basically just going to go through every single killer in order of I think they're in order of release. Looks like it, because we got Myers before Huntress. Yeah, so it's in order of release. And we're just gonna, you know, figure out who's top, who's bottom, and have a bit of fun while doing it. And then later on, we'll probably play some Fortnite or some shit. So yes. And maybe you guys will see this on YouTube as well. Okay, starting off with the Trapper. I would love to hear your thoughts. We got some people that reckon that the Trapper would invest in the crypto because he is a trust fund kid. What do we reckon? Would he be an investor, not an investor? What level of investment would he be doing? I don't know. I think immediately off the bat, Mickey D has said something about him being a trust fund kid, and I could totally see that. I could totally see him having that loose money to spend and just kind of not having any clue what he's doing with it. I don't think he's smart enough to be like the CEO of FTX or anything like that. I picture him mainly being around this area. I don't know. What does everyone else think? So that, I reckon he'd invest, but I don't see him really giving a shit about it. If he makes money, he makes money. I don't see him being overly worried about if his investments go good or bad. So I think he'll be Hodl Gang. He'll buy stocks and he'll just hold on to them. He doesn't give a shit. This is such a dumb idea. Why am I here? Why are we here? Rafe seems like a cautious dude. I don't picture him knowing his lore and knowing how he, like, his entire thing, I was chatting with Spooky Pumpkin on their stream the other day about how the Wraith is a very caring, compassionate guy, and the entire reason why he snapped and became a killer is because he found out somebody was using him to kill people, and he just, like, flipped because he hated the idea of it. Cautious, yeah, I agree. I think Wraith would be cautious. I reckon he'd be a cool dude. Yeah, you know. I don't necessarily think he wouldn't do crypto, but I also can't see him being like one of these guys that scams people. Billy's a bit of a weird. I don't picture Billy having any technological expertise ever. So my immediate reaction is to put him in no crypto whatsoever. And spoiler alert, in fact, I can probably just jump the gun a little bit now. I feel like Bubba is also in no crypto. Like, both of them just have, like, the home life on a farm where, like, they have the upbringing very secluded from society. I don't picture either of them really dabbling in computers, in cryptocurrencies, in anything like that. I don't know. I don't know if anyone disagrees with me. I haven't watched the Texas Chainsaw stuff, though, so maybe I'm wrong, and Bubba in his quest for flesh to eat has become a computer nerd. I'm not sure. God, it's occurring. I feel like Nurse would be cautious. I was about to say, it's occurring to me that a lot of our early killers are very low tier characters. Like there's some of these I can picture being like up here in like CEO position, but Nurse is I reckon she's a dabbler. I don't see her having the money to invest. Like, and obviously we can't just look at what money they do have available. That is very weird to listen to. Am I able to not have the chase music blaring in my ears? Okay, Doctor. I reckon this is where we start to get characters who would be a little bit more scammy. Doctor isn't somebody who will just, like, blindly throw himself into it. Nor, like, he seems like the guy that would throw himself into it, like, fully. Question is, would he orchestrate scams, or would he just kind of, like, play along? I feel like he's the kind of guy that orchestrates these things. Pump and dumps because he doesn't care about money. But I picture that he'd enjoy the suffering element of it. Like, maybe I made these two categories a little bit too close. I feel like Pump and Dump would, I'm not sure. We'll sit on this. I think he's strategic. I don't see him being any lower than Pump and Dump, but he's somewhere in this area, I reckon. Agreed? Okay. Right. We'll put him here for the minute. We'll see who else we put where, and then maybe we can reshuffle some of these afterwards. And just so that we're all aware, if you guys have thoughts about somebody who's already on the tier list or somebody we haven't done yet, say it. Okay? I don't really give a shit if we stick to the order that they're in. Like, if you guys suddenly decide Vecna should be here, then, you know, tell me. I'm all good with that. Okay, Myers. Michael Myers. He's a bit of a weird one, because I don't picture him being here. He either makes people suffer in scammer, or he's no crypto. And I love this idea of him being this faceless, like, corporate guy, just at the top, fucking just screwing people out of money. I don't know why, just the idea of it is hilarious to me. Like, I don't think he cares enough about money to be a pump and dumper. Nor do I see him, like, cautiously dabbling. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because you gotta remember that, like, when we talk about FTX, we're talking about a company that scammed the shit out of people. You know, they were just, yeah, not great. I don't know, maybe while we don't have a CEO here, we'll just put Myers up here, and he might have some company later, and then we can move him down. Okay, let's go with Hag. I feel like Hag, even if it was... I haven't done, like, any of Hag's lore stuff for a while, but I feel like even if Hag was in her, like, normal human form, she's a much more hands-on in the community person. Yeah, no crypto. Yeah, I don't picture her even, like, slightly doing it. Yeah, I don't really remember what she was like, though, because I know Lisa... She got captured by, like, a tribe and was, like, tortured and shit. But I don't remember what she was up to before that. I'm gonna say no crypto for the minute, though. Same probably for our next, our next one. Huntress. The only thing is that I feel like Huntress, having not really grown up with anybody, I could see her being persuaded into HODL. Like, she wouldn't be knowledgeable enough to be anything up here. But she'd probably be able to be influenced enough. I can picture her being in HODL gang. Just holding on to investments even if they're going down and it's all, like, against her. She's not a cautious person, so there's no point putting her here. I don't know. I'm trying to think a little bit differently because it's a bit hard to just look at what money these killers would have because a lot of them aren't gonna have money. Like, and so we gotta think a little bit more creatively with how they would use money if they had it. I think these guys at the bottom, I don't picture them doing it. Huntress, I could totally see getting convinced into it. Maybe even not, like, just holding onto her assets because she can, but just forgetting about them. I could see her getting, like, convinced into this shit. I don't feel like family values are something that she's gotten from her home life. Whereas, like, these two had, like, family members who presumably raised them to some extent. Freddy Krueger. I think he's a dumper. I gut instinct tells me I don't think he's smart enough, patient enough to be a CEO, but he would totally do a pump and dump scheme. I could see him, you know, on his school branded computer. Participating in the crypto market and fucking someone's life over. Yeah, I think I'm happy with him being there. Unless, of course, somebody in chat makes a better argument for it. I think I'm putting Freddy in pump and dump. Pig. Piggy. I'll be honest. I feel like Pig would be a no crypto. And just hear me out. It's because if you think about who Pig is Amanda Young. She's the disciple of John Kramer. Obviously, very immediately, she wouldn't have access to a lot of disposable income. But more importantly is that it depends on when in Amanda's timeline you look at her. In the early days of her timeline, she's a drug addict. And so if she had that money, she wouldn't be putting it into crypto, she'd be putting it into drugs. But more importantly, I see her post reverse bear trap test being the kind of person who would actively campaign against cryptocurrencies. So I'm actually going to put her in no crypto. Maybe even, like, testing some of the people up here. Like, I could totally see Amanda Young, like, putting fucking Freddy Krueger or Herman Carter in a saw trap like testing them, be like, make them prove that they value their lives and shit. Yeah, okay. I'm getting some agreement there. Thank you, Sheer. I'm gonna put Amanda Young there. I'm actually really happy with that. Oh, Clown. I don't know where Clown goes here. He's no CEO. Fuck that. What was he like? He got in trouble with the authorities because he was careless, and his solution was to craft a persona for himself where he was a circus clown. I think next to Trapper in Hodel Gang. He's very obsessed with fingers and stuff, and so I don't think, with that obsession in mind, I can't see him being focused enough to be up here. Up top. Oh, I don't even know if you guys can see my cursor. Sorry. Yeah, I don't see him being up top anywhere. But he's not cautious either. You know what? I actually reckon you might be onto something. I know. I reckon Hodel Gang. Yeah, we're gonna put him in Hodel Gang. Spirit. Spirit. See, who is Rin? Let's have a think about what Rin was like for a second. Rin was this high schooler who had her whole life ahead of her. She was, as far as I'm aware, she was a high achiever, I'm pretty sure. But I've never really interpreted that as being like a bad person. Like, obviously, Doctor and Blight were high achievers. They're probably more likely to be in your CEO section or your pump and dump section. I feel like Rin would be the kind of person to make smart financial decisions. She wouldn't say no to crypto. I reckon she'd be a cautious dabbler. You reckon no? I can't see her being in any of the top 3. I really feel strongly about the cautiously dabbles. Just because, again, maybe I've got it wrong. I feel like Rin was a very academic person. Like, I feel like she'd be smart with her funds, smart enough not to do nothing, but she'd dabble in the stock exchange. She'd dabble in crypto. She wouldn't throw herself in, wouldn't be Hodel Gang. She wouldn't try and fuck somebody over, because that's not what she was like. She only became a killer after the curse made her father go ballistic. I see you're saying no crypto. And I could believe that. We're gonna leave Rin at the bottom of cautiously dabbles for the minute. Because I feel drawn to this logic. We got the Legion next. Legion, this one's especially weird because obviously there's 4 of them. And so I'm assuming we're just gonna do them all as one group. Which they probably would act as one group. I don't feel like they're organized enough to be CEOs. Pump and dump or hodl? I could see that. The fact of the matter is that they're the kind of, yeah, I think they're malicious enough to be pump and dump. Because I could totally see Frank feels like the leader, but it could be somebody else. But let's just say Frank's like, hey guys, I figured out that this crypto, like, it's currently pretty hot. If you guys buy in now and we sell when it gets high, we can like pump and dump this shit. I could totally see him getting the Legion on board to do that. I like that. I like that. Plague. Plague. Vommy mommy. Plague is actually somebody I'm not 100% sure how to rank here. Because there's an argument for the no crypto thing, especially if you consider historical evidence based on the fact that she exists way back. But at the same time, she was this priestess who put herself at the center of everything going on with the Black Plague. She wasn't somebody who would sit back and just do nothing. In fact, I'm drawn to Hodel Gang for Plague, and my reasoning is because I recall. Again, it's been a while since I've delved into her lore, but if I remember correctly, Plague was this kind of person in the community seen as like a healer, and so she was somebody that a lot of people looked at. Why do I have the chase music playing in my ears again? Okay, Plague. Sorry. I picture her being that kind of person that holds on to hope about something. I recall her being very dead set that she could solve her community's problems when it came to the Black Plague. And I think that would very much lean into Hodel Gang. She'd get involved in something and she'll just stick with it. I think she's a stubborn person who believes that she can achieve what she needs to by just pushing forward with something. And so I'm going to put her in Hodel Gang. Oh, Ghostface. He's there. I don't think there are many who would fit so well in CEO. Like, especially this Ghostface. You gotta remember that this isn't just any guy name that's gone with the Ghostface persona. This particular Ghostface is Danny Olson, and he is. I just take him as such a self-centered person with such a high opinion of himself. There is no way he would not be CEO. He also, I think, understanding who Danny Olson is, I think he's also a bit of a charmer. I could totally see him charming people into, you know, into the scam. In fact, I think I might have to move Myers down a little bit because of it. Because of how well Ghostface fits in there. Because Myers doesn't have that charisma element to it, I guess. Demogorgon. I think sadly we're just gonna have to put him in crypto. Because Demogorgon is just a... I don't want to say just a monster, that sounds rude. I don't picture him having any interest whatsoever in touching a computer, let alone learning what the fuck. Can you imagine trying to explain crypto to a Demogorgon? Would not end well. Okay, we got the Oni. Hodel. Just click here, demo interest. It would be a bit like that though. I reckon Demogorgon would be a fucking... If Demogorgon had the capacity to think, I feel like Demogorgon would just get like... would just get wrapped in things. Oh, that makes me think of another tier list idea, is we could like get like a group of characters to be like the most likely to like fall for scams sort of thing. And like the top tier will be like married to a foreign prince. But no, I think Oni... I feel like Oni is more stubborn than pretty much anyone here. And I picture him, like... If something was going wrong with his assets, he'd probably just go, we'll just keep doing what we're doing more! Like, I don't picture him investing in this game while thinking. Very clearly. Caleb. Caleb likes suffering. He's 100% up here somewhere. And I think he is one of those guys who is both smart enough, like just generally a very smart guy, and could probably figure out crypto and figure out how to play people using crypto, as well as I think he's got the confidence to sell his ideas. I think he could be CEO. Like, not the most conventional CEO, but I think Caleb could totally fill that role. Executioner. I haven't played Silent Hill. Ghosty of the Face, DS of the Brains. I could totally see Sling, like a modern day Deathslinger being like a computer hacker. Like he's this guy who's just like he gets in front of a keyboard. He was like one of the most early adopters of like computers and shit, and like he was a nerd in school, and then he grew up to just know how to like scam the shit out of people in such a convincing way that they don't even believe it. Executioner, wasn't he just a figment of somebody's like torment or imagination or some shit like that? I haven't played Silent Hill, so I'm not super sure on the lore, but I think Pyramid Head's a very one-track minded kind of guy. I don't think he would care, even if he did have like $1 million on credit card. I think he'd just go on doing what he's doing. I think some of these others would actively turn against crypto or would be fighting against it. He's more like Demogorgon. He just doesn't give a shit. I think Pyramid Head will just sit here at the bottom. How are we doing for time, by the way? Have we been here for 40 minutes? Jesus Christ. Okay, sorry, this is taking a while. Blight. I think Blight goes where Doctor goes. Would Blight be willing to run a corporation? I don't know if I think both Herman and Talbot, I forget what his name is. Something like that. I think both of these guys have the brains to run a crypto scam. But I think both of them also fall into this category of not having the charisma to pull it off. I think that, and they both have their focuses on other things. I was talking the other day with somebody who was ranking them based on who would be the best sexual partners. And these guys rank near the bottom basically because they have their one-track mind, they're focused on their research, they don't give a shit about anything else. I picture that one-track mind thing would allow them to be good in a pump and dump, but possibly not very good as a CEO, per se. Not charming enough to catch somebody off guard. So we're going to put Blight here with Doctor, I reckon. Charlotte and Victor. The twins. They're used to having nothing. I believe their backstory is that they grew up very poor with their mother, and because they were conjoined twins, their mother was looked upon badly. Their family wasn't really provided anything. They were looked at as a monster. So I don't picture Charlotte doing anything in any method that's not cautious, apart from Dead by Daylight killing, obviously. And I think that's something that can really bias us a bit here, is that when you've got Dead by Daylight killers, they're always hack and slashy. That's the nature of the game. But in practice, I think Charlotte and Victor would be smarter than that. I think Charlotte will be a cautious dabbler. Because she wouldn't really know what she's doing. I don't necessarily think she'd say no crypto, but she'd be very cautious. Now, here's somebody who could totally be a CEO. He likes the pain. I could see him even more. I can see Trickster more in this Trickster Goes Pumps and Dumps, I think. It's either Pumps and Dumps or CEO. And the reason why I'm leaning more CEO is that charisma element of it. I could see him, it wouldn't be a very good scam, but I could see him going for a scam. Like, if you think about it, his lore is about him murdering people and using the sounds of their torture and murder in his music and then selling it off. He's good at taking something that exists and making it palatable, making it purchasable, and he'd be motivated to do that. I think I see what you mean with him being pump and dump, but I feel like he wouldn't be able to settle with that. He wants to be the face. I reckon he has to be up in the CEO section. And there can be more than one CEO. Like, the CEO of FTX is just meant to be making fun of Sam Bankman-Fried. It literally, you know, this is our council of assholes at the minute. I know I've got somebody in chat who might have some thoughts about Resident Evil characters like Nemi. What's that? Nemesis was a scientist initially, wasn't he? He was a test from the beginning. Yeah, okay. The question is, how much of a shit would he give about this? And again, this is where I'm gonna have to defer to somebody who probably knows a bit more about Resident Evil. Birkin was the scientist, not Nemi. Right, okay. I don't see him being up here. Not CEO of FTX, not pumps and dumps. Maybe not even HODL. I think I'm inclined to say no crypto for this guy. I think there's another Resident Evil character down the list who I feel like is more likely to get involved with cryptocurrencies. But Nemesis himself, I think, if he did invest, he'd be HODL gang. I picture him going very stubbornly full force into it. But it's that I don't see him being convinced to invest. I don't see him sitting in front of a computer long enough to even consider it. I think he has to be down here. Maybe in front of Pig and Demogorgon and Executioner. I think all of those guys honestly have way too good explanations, I think, for why they're down here. He's not at that level, but he's, you know, he's low. I don't think he'd be in crypto. Pinhead. He likes suffering. The question is, where does that suffering put him? Does it put him in pumps and dumps, or does it put him in CEO? I'm gonna put him in CEO. Only because my interpretation of Cenobites is that they are very control heavy. They like to be manipulating things. So I'm putting him up top. I think CEO is probably not a bad position for him. Artist. Somewhere in these bottom sections. I think she's got the rationale to be a cautious dabbler. I don't think she necessarily would desperately go for crypto, but I could see her being very, very cautious about doing it. Cautious or no, based on her backstory. Yeah, she's humble and somebody who cares for people, cares for family well-being and stuff. I don't think she'd let herself get involved in the heavy scam elements up here. Yeah, we're gonna put her as a cautious dabbler. Sadako, the Onryo. I actually don't know. This is possibly one of the hardest characters to put. I'm inclined to put her down with these guys at the bottom. She's probably got the same amount of interest in crypto as Nemesis does, to be totally honest. Maybe even put her there, just in front of him. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I think she's very one-track minded. So nah, there's no version of Sadako I can see ever being involved in crypto. So we're gonna put it down here. Dredge. Dredge is like the embodiment of all of these guys up above. I think Dredge is a pump and dump. He's something that takes all the different pieces of the masses, and I don't picture him running something. Rather, he'd be in the background taking advantage. He's definitely one of those person in the background taking advantage of a situation sort of people. So we're putting in pump and dumps. Yeah. Wesker. I almost want to put him CEO, you know? Because my understanding of him as a Resident Evil character is that he presents himself as a likable person. CEO, I think. Yes. I mean, he literally calls him... Dead by Daylight literally calls him the mastermind. And that's just the way I see him. He positions himself as somebody who is a good person, so he can be in the center of attention, to be right in the action, and he'll take the ever-loving advantage of a person. He's not just a pump and dumper. I think he's a CEO. He's really good at manipulation. Yeah, I think I almost want to put him up here, like, in front of everyone. He seems right here. Although, he may be dethroned. I'm seeing who's next. I think there may be some people coming up that may like his spot. Okay. Knight. Historical... Historical context aside, I think Knight's a pump and dumper. I agree 100%. I'm glad we agree with Wesker, because now that uni's kind of wrapping up, I want to do some things, and one of my things is I really want to get to the Resident Evil games, but as it is, I still haven't gotten there yet, which means that I still don't 100% know the context of him. But speaking from what I know from my limited interaction with him and the game he's in that I play, as well as everyone else, I think I've got a good idea for Wesker. As for Knight, I picture him as like a leader who would kind of lead people into crypto. I don't see him taking the front facing, being the CEO of anything. But I think pump and dump is not a bad spot for Knight. I'm just gonna put him in here with these guys. I don't know where Skull Merchant goes. Skull Merchant is... Let's think about it. She's tech savvy, so I think she is in the upper tiers here. But she'd invest in Brazilian manga. Sorry, I could not say that with a straight face. I really tried there. Just couldn't. Skull Merchant. I don't see her... Mainly because we don't look at her... She lives remotely, right? She doesn't live somewhere where she wants people to know about her. Even though she's a very modern day killer, I think she'd just take advantage of a situation. So I picture her more in a pump and dump area than anything else. She's equipped to do it. In fact, it might even be how she's got enough money to support both her technological advances and her crippling Brazilian manga addiction. I think she's a pump and number. Singularity. Singularity is a weird one because he's fundamentally AI that's become something more, right? And I picture he's the most likely to hack in and understand what's going on with the world of crypto. And take the most advantage of it as possible. And it's that element of hacking that makes me want to put him CEO rather than just pump and dump. It's not that he's got the charisma or the drive to be a CEO, but it's more the fact because of the fact he'd probably hack into systems and take advantage of systems in a way that's kind of just a little bit above pump and dumps. Maybe top of pump and dumps. It's either there or there. I don't picture him really in either. He's somewhere in between. Yeah, we'll put him at the bottom of this just so it evens this out a little bit. Yeah. Xenomorph has to be bottom tier. Xenomorph's a creature who doesn't understand what a computer is, let alone gives a shit about anything else. So yeah, we're just gonna leave him here. I hope that's alright with everybody. Just same situation as what's his face here? Demogorgon. Chucky pumps and dumps. I don't think he wouldn't hodl. He wouldn't cautiously dabble. He'd take advantage of the situation. He'd try and make money off of it. But he's not smart enough to be a CEO. So I'm not putting him CEO. We've got God, I just want to rush through because there's like 2 left and I've been here for fucking ages. We got the unknown. On the surface, I'm inclined to say unknown is no crypto. But I could totally see him cautiously dabbling in crypto to just keep up this persona of a normal person. Because we see the unknown... Oh no, but it's not his voice lines, is it? It's his victim's voice lines. Unknown's a weird one because we don't... It's hard to understand how the unknown works as an entity, because theoretically there's part of it that's the person and part of it that's the thing that's infected them. Parasite. I'm inclined to say cautiously dabbles. Though. Takes over a host, tries to keep up appearances. I could see him being a dabbler. Like, obviously, practically, probably not, but let's just say, like, in a situation like this, possibly. Unknown is no crypto. Similar to Demo and Xeno, it's an alien. Lol. You're right, though. It's just, like... The only thing I think puts him above these two is that the unknown takes over a host body. And so the host body, like, it clearly still has some ability to it. Because you hear them muttering voice lines. Okay, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna listen to chat on this one. I'm not sure on it, because it depends on how you look at the unknown. Okay, this leaves us with Vecna. Vecna is our last one. I don't even know where to begin with this guy. What's he like in D&D? D&D, he's built up. He's... The entire idea of him was that he didn't even exist initially in the game. It was more so as this urban legend sort of character, where you could find his hand and his eye, chests around the place, and eventually he actually appeared as this fucking terrifying mage dude. Vecna's a controller, I think. He's not somebody who cautiously goes into something. He's not somebody who blindly hurdles without understanding what he's doing. He's not even somebody that pumps and dumps. I think he's a CEO. I think he's possibly... He'd be up here with Wesker, I think. I'd say no crypto. Liches don't share. Yeah, but it's again, I think it's looking at it from the aspect of somebody who would try and scam somebody else out of there. I could totally see that. I think CEO is actually a good spot for him. I actually am pretty happy with that. Okay, how does everyone else feel? Is there anything that we feel needs to be moved? You're happy with this, or are you just trying to rush me? There's a couple I'm not 100% sure on. In hindsight, mine is I want to move down a little bit. He's fundamentally, as a killer, he's a stalker. He sits back and watches and waits. And bides his time and figures out what he needs to do. I'm going to put him at dabbles. Obviously, I am keeping in mind the fact that most of these killers will never know what crypto is. And presumably don't care. But I figured this was just a fun experiment. And again, I want to express to you guys that this is something that I'd like to do more of if you guys enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, please let me know. Please let me know you want to see it again. I would love as many ideas of what you think could make it better or what topics you'd want to see. I just thought it would be fun to do something different that's a bit of a thought experiment. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I think we're gonna leave that there. There's nothing glaringly wrong with this list, as far as I can tell. There's a couple that are in the no crypto area where I feel like I just put them there because I didn't really know where else to put them, like Sadako. But an unknown is probably going to annoy me a little bit. But I think we're going to leave this here as is. I'm actually pretty happy with that. And assuming this goes up on YouTube, leave a like, leave a subscribe. Let me know what you want to see from this series, or if you just want to watch other things. You don't want to see me do this. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know. Otherwise, thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. And as for you guys on Twitch, I'm going to keep going. You haven't gotten rid of me yet.